Put your hands together for the President of Directions, Scott Brennan!
You got everything? Oh, how about another round of applause for Gary? You know, I have to share a quick secret here. This is the third year Gary's been at this event. You know, we had him, the first year we had him was in Nashville several years ago. We actually never invited him back. He just keeps showing up, and I haven't had the heart to tell him he can't come on stage. Sorry. I meant to tell you earlier than that. No, obviously I'm joking. We love Gary. All right, so on to the show. Welcome everyone to the 11th Annual Directions Conference in Orlando. What a phenomenal event we have for you this year. For those of you that have been here before, you know I usually stand up here on stage, initially share some tidbits about the event, some thank yous, and so forth. But we thought that, you know, I wanted to share a little bit and talk a little bit about the future. So as you know, the Directions Board is made up of various ISVs and resellers in the NAV community. Throughout the year, we work closely with Microsoft. We have a lot of, you know, behind doors type of conversations that I think it would be good for us to share what our thoughts are on the future state of the product and the channel and this event. So we're going to entertain you here for a quick second on that. So first, the product. Right now, we feel there's never been more excitement and opportunity within the NAV product. This will be obvious as you sit through this presentation, the keynote today, all the sessions that you have this week. In addition, I can guarantee you that Microsoft continues to invest heavily in the future of this product. You'll see that. And now with the annual release cycle, they're delivering that additional investment much faster. So the product. Second, the channel, which is made up of all of you. The NAV partner community has always been strong. That's how this event began, I think we can say. Many of the new features in NAV 2016 that you'll see this week create a great opportunity for existing and new companies to build their own solutions and take them to market faster. We've already started to see this in the registration this year. There are 51 companies that represent 78 attendees here this year that were not here last year, but are here this year. So we also are seeing 11 new sponsors that are here this year that weren't here last year. So we're seeing that actually take place. Lastly, many existing partners in the channel have had a challenge. I think we all have had a challenge finding new blood, resources, and that kind of constraint in our businesses. A lot of partners right now are actually seeing a lot of benefits from internal internship programs that they've implemented over the last couple years. I encourage you to explore that idea. We have a session here this week that talks about that. So actually take a look at that session. Thirdly, the event. If you were here last year, you know I had some slides up here that talked about where we've been the last 10 years. You know, but honestly, those were great times, but we want to focus on what the next 10 years are going to be like. In those next 10 years, obviously, we want to continue to add value to this event. So you'll start seeing some changes this year around that. Microsoft's focus on this event has never been greater. There are 57, I shouldn't say that, if Paul hears me. There's really not that many people here, Paul. But there's 57 Microsoft team members here this week, from all different roles of product development to support, to marketing, to the executive level. So reach out, spend some time with them, take an opportunity to actually to do that. With the annual release cycle now a reality, this event is now functioning as the launch event each year, I think we can safely say. As you know, for a while now, we typically get somewhere between 550 to 650 attendees here. Well, with the excitement I just mentioned in the previous two slides around the product and the channel, we have a commitment from Microsoft to help us do this, but we hope that this exceeds 1,000 attendees within the next 3 years. And this room will be twice the size, at least. So all of that considered, this is an important message. If you aren't here this year, obviously you don't hear me, but then you need to get here next year. If you're here this year, you need to bring more people here next year. Because we honestly believe this is the premier Dynamics partner event in North America. And yes, I purposely left out the word NAV, because we don't think there's another Dynamics partner event in the calendar year in North America that offers more value than this event. So if you're not here and not here in mass, then we believe that is a mistake. So please, get here and get here with more people. All right, so just a quick overview of what we're going to cover here during this general session. I'm taking care of the welcome. We'll have our Microsoft keynote. We'll have a couple gold sponsor presentations, a prize drawing at the end. So make sure you stick around to the very end. You must be present to win the drawing. We've got a couple significantly sized gift cards that will be of interest to you. So on to the normal part of the presentation I usually go through. I want to first say thank you. You know, every year we recognize several key contributors. Without their dedication and sacrifice, it would make this very difficult to put on. First is the organizing committee. These 12 people are all volunteers. They expend countless hours to put this event on. They are not paid for their services, obviously, is what volunteer means. So I'd like the current board members in the audience to stand up here in the first row so they can be recognized. We can give them a round of applause. So another critical piece to making this event run so smoothly is our event planner, Eva Chu. She's probably around back right now, but with her, she's a lifesaver in many instances. So now that we've covered those that are responsible for the organization and planning the event, let's move on to those that are responsible for funding the event, in addition to your registrations. Without these contributions of these groups, it would make it extremely difficult to actually put this event on. Please attend the ISV sessions, attend the expos, spend some time outside in the premier sponsor area, which is right outside these doors, and attend the gold sponsors and the keynotes, please. So first of all, our platinum sponsor, thank you to Microsoft. And then our 3 gold sponsors this year, Jet Reports, Lam, and Solver. And then our 7 silver sponsors. I'm going to rattle them off, but thank you very much. Our 15 bronze sponsors. And thank you to the remaining exhibitors as well that you will see in the expo. So now I'd like to share just some quick highlights of the event that will help you provide value and make sure that you know about all these different parts of the conference. So 572 attendees right now. This was as of this morning. I'm sure there's been several. We always get a number of walk-ins and so forth, so I'm sure that number's gone up. As I mentioned earlier, 58, you'll see an asterisk next to some of these. These are actually represent highs in the history of the event. So 58 Microsoft team members was a high, 47 exhibitors, 65 breakout sessions. There's more content and more valuable content this year than I think you will have ever seen at this event. So it's really a challenge just finding out what to go to and what order to go in. So that's another reason for you guys to bring more people. You need more people to cover all of this valuable content. So we have 27 ISV sessions. We have 11 hands-on workshops. Certifications exams are new this year. You'll want to actually pre-register for those. Those have a fee. Those are trying to gain some momentum. As you know, Microsoft discontinued their certification process, so another group has actually took on that initiative. So please check that out. And of course, the Microsoft Support Center. You need to talk to Microsoft, deal with any ongoing issues you have. Please stop by there and talk to them. Workshops, just a little important reminder here. What you see up here, they're numbered 1 through 4, but number 1 above are the traditional workshops that you've seen the last several years. These are on various NAV 2016 topics. Number 2 and number 3 up here are actually the Cloud SureStep for Dynamics track that runs during the conference this year. So important to remember, for 1, 2, and 3, you must register using this link that you see up here. This link is also, and I'm going to cover this in the mobile app, but important to remember here, in the mobile app there's a section under Etc. that says useful info. You're going to find a lot of useful info in that section, but one of them is the link to actually these workshops. So it's good to check that link. So register, bring your own laptop, and please don't register if you're not absolutely sure you're going to show up. There's limited space, and we want people to actually use the seats that they reserve. So number 4, though, are additional workshops, and these are different than the first 3, hosted by our sponsors to dive deeper into their products, okay? These do not require registration, okay? So big differentiator there between 1 through 3 and 4. So a little info on the mobile app this year. You'll see it's a little different, but we are actually proud to say that it works on all platforms. Download it from the various stores you probably already have. It's called Directions US. To get in, you should be able to use the email address you registered with for the conference. Use the password Directions 2015. It has numerous features that most apps have with events tracks. You got your personalized agenda. I mentioned the useful info area. So please download that. It will be very helpful throughout the conference. So a couple more quick conference tips that are a little different than last year. We've changed the ISV sessions a little bit. You will see that we changed the length of these to 30 minutes. Now, this wasn't to reduce the value to our ISVs. We would never do that, but instead to add value for them. Changing these sessions to 30 minutes has allowed us to only place 4 ISV sessions in a single slot. So we have less competing sessions for the ISVs, which should, in turn, increase attendance at those. So please attend those. Back this year is the MVP Best Practices track. 12 different Microsoft Nav MVPs, actually there might be 13, here to deliver some great content. So please take advantage of that. Make sure you're in the front row tomorrow for the second, well, everybody can't be in the front row, but make sure you're in the front row for the second day keynote. We have a headline keynote speaker like no other in the history of this event. So he describes himself, his name's Eric Wall, he describes himself as an internationally recognized graffiti artist and a #1 best-selling business author. So he brags that he redefines the term of keynote speaker, so you do not want to miss him. So in addition to the keynote tomorrow, we'll also have our gold sponsor, third gold sponsor, Solver, so make sure you're here for that. We also brought roundtables back, so make sure you join those and join the spirited discussion that happens in those events. And lastly, make sure you know that the surveys are on the mobile app. We've done that for a couple years now, but you used to get papers and fill them out and turn them in, but your session surveys are on the mobile app, and your conference survey is on the mobile app. So, yes, we already have a session update, a session change. This should be reflected on the mobile app now, but we just wanted, and on the website, but we wanted to actually point it out in case you had set your schedule up a couple days ago. That's pretty simple. These 2 sessions, you're just flipping around. If you expected to see Gary today, you're going to see him Monday. If you expected to see Marco on Monday, you're going to see him today. So I think when you walk in the room, you might be pretty obvious, a little hard to mistake between Marco and Gary Winter. A little bit difference in looks. Join the buzz. Keep the social media going. I talked about building the channel and so forth. We need to increase the excitement of the channel. Be free to get others to enjoy, to see how exciting it is, and get them to actually join the community as well. Be sure to attend both expos. We have the first one tonight and the second one tomorrow. So with that, I thank you all for coming, and have a wonderful conference.